So you can listen to this practice wherever you happen to be. You can be sitting, you can be laying, you can be even stretching and doing some things if that's what you got to do. Hopefully wherever you are when you hear these words, they'll still be beneficial to you. So as you are arriving to a comfortable position, if you'd like to remain still for this practice, then just taking your time getting to a place that's comfortable. So if there's any little movements you feel your body needs to take, if there's any twists or cat-cows or neck rolls or anything at all that your body's asking for, just trusting those instincts of movement and allowing your body to move you and just getting anything out that needs to come out. And eventually, when you're ready, making your way to a position of stillness with a straight spine. And just feeling that connection between your pelvic floor and the back of your throat. And if you are sitting upright, allowing your head to rest over your heart, resting over your hips, and feeling that alignment between your shoulders and your hips. And just starting to become aware of the shape that your body is in. The shape of your spine. And bringing attention to the back of your neck. And making sure that is as long as possible so that the crown of your head is reaching away from your seat. And if you are laying down, then feeling the crown of your head and the soles of your feet reaching in opposite directions. So you feel safe to take up as much space as you do. And if you're in a space where you feel safe to do so, at any point you can allow your eyes to gently close. And just mark your arrival to this practice and into your body with a full and deep cleansing breath. Taking a long, slow inhale in through the nose, slowly filling up just like a glass of water. Holding that breath for a moment at the top and just experiencing what that's like to be full of air. And as you need to, slowly letting all of it go. Decompressing bit by bit. Pushing that final bit of air out of you to truly empty yourself. And then pause to notice what that feels like. And allowing your next breath to come as it's needed. And you can breathe just like that a few more times, just exaggerating the 4 parts of your breath. The inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause. And at any point, you can release all guidance over your breath altogether and just allow your body to breathe itself. And practicing being the witness of your body's natural functions. Simply observing the pattern of your breath without having any sort of control or guidance over that breath. And know that sometimes this feels like an impossible task, so it is okay if that's what it feels like right now. And other times it's very straightforward. So just honoring where you are right now. And just starting to notice any expression that's on your face. Notice any tension in the forehead or the brows. Notice any tension in the jaw, in the chin, in the nostrils, in the ears. All these little areas of your face and head that can hold tension without us truly realizing it. Just starting to question if there is tension in these areas. And just by noticing where there might be a sensation of holding, that gives you the power to then release and to soften these areas. So just picturing all the muscles of your face melting just like ice. You picture ice on a hot pan, just slowly melting away into liquid. And letting the same sense of softness and release continue down your throat and your neck. And continue across the shoulders and the collarbones, down the arms and into both hands. And just allowing the true weight of your arms and hands to exist, and letting that weight lengthen the space between your shoulders and your ears. And notice where your heart is located in the shape of your shoulders. And sometimes our shoulders can be coming forward and kind of protecting or hiding the heart. Other times our shoulders can be really pulling back and kind of sacrificing the back of your heart. So just finding that middle ground where your heart is resting in line with the arms. There's an equal protection from the front of the body and the back of the body. And just starting to feel that connection between your heart and your brain. And just clearing that path, letting that be as direct as possible. And just tracing with your mind's eye the space from your heart, up your throat, up through the brain stem and into the brain itself. And just remembering that there is a physical connection between the heart and the brain. Your heart is pumping blood and energy into your mind. And just becoming aware of that process that's always happening, whether you are aware or not. And now just starting to notice the space between your hands and your heart. And remembering this physical anatomy that connects your heart to both hands. That is always there, again, whether you notice or not. Your heart is always pumping blood and energy into your hands and fingers. And maybe you can even start to feel the heartbeat that's in your hands, the pulse that's running through your hands and fingers and wrists, all the way up the arms, into the heart, and back to the hands. And just that constant communication that's happening between your heart and your hands, and your hearts and your head. And even if you're having trouble feeling these connections right now, just remembering that this is true, that the physical anatomy of your body is this way. There is a connection between your heart and every part of your body. And this is your body, so why wouldn't you be able to feel it? You have the ability to feel the processes of what's happening in your body, because it is so close to you. It's inside of you. And sometimes it just takes some practice or a lot of stillness, a lot of awareness, but knowing that it is there. Whether you feel it or not, just trusting that. And letting this feeling this connection of your heart continue into your stomach. Remembering this very clear now connection from your heart into your stomach. And as your awareness starts to funnel into the stomach, letting it soften and welcoming your breath to travel deeper into the stomach as well. So it's like each breath is a wave that's swelling up deep within your belly. And each exhale, that wave is just crashing down and exiting your body. Allowing each breath to be one of cleansing. And maybe even feeling the gentle pulse that's in your belly. The heartbeat that exists here in the solar plexus. You may be not feeling that, and that's okay too. Just feeling whatever is present in you. And even if there is pain present somewhere within the body, or in a lot of places within the body, allowing yourself to feel that pain is oftentimes the most painful layer of the pain that we feel is our resistance to that and our need to feel anything different than the way we are feeling. And then it makes us feel really trapped, like we're trapped in a body that hurts, which is a totally valid feeling. So knowing that it is completely expected and natural if you feel that way. And then at the same time, accepting what is here and just flipping that into one of curiosity, being curious about what these sensations might be communicating to you. And just by tuning in a little deeper, so fighting that urge to look away from the pain and instead looking directly at it, feeling it fully. Letting your body exhale with that awareness and just with tuning into these areas and just with that acceptance. And accepting doesn't mean that we like or that we approve of what is there or what's happening. Accepting just means that we are acknowledging what is reality. And if there is pain present, then that is the reality. And just by acknowledging that and letting it exist for however long it needs to exist, that whole layer of pain that is resistance can just dissipate. It doesn't mean all the pain dissipates, but that tension that we feel, that squirming feeling within us where we just want to exit our bodies, that can really ease that sensation. So letting your awareness come more into the hips now and the glutes and the pelvic floor. And just letting this whole region, this very sensitive region at the base of your spine, letting it be fully supported by whatever surface supports you. Letting it melt a little closer. And if you imagine the sensation when you hug someone who you really love, where you might just be hugging them at first, and then with some time you exhale and breathe into it and just fully release yourself into their arms. Just adapting that same sense with whatever surface is supporting you, letting yourself be deeply hugged by it. and hugged by the earth beneath it. As you remember just how safe you are, simply because you have the ability to hear the words I'm saying and be in a space, whatever space you're in, you are deeply safe and held. So just letting yourself be held, knowing that you are worthy of being held and safe. And there's nothing that you have to do to earn this, simply because you are alive and in your body. This is your truth. You are supported by the earth beneath you, and you are lifted by the sun above you. And ultimately speaking, you have all that you need. And letting your legs fully soften and just allowing the full length and weight of your legs to exist. Letting all the muscles just roll off of the bones. As you start to remember the connection between your feet and your heart. Just tracing that space that connects your heart to your feet and toes. As you're now aware of the pulse that's running through your entire body. From your heart to your head, your heart to your hands, and your heart to your feet. And just taking this time to truly appreciate this miracle that is your heart, that is pumping blood throughout your entire body, keeping you alive every moment of your life, from the time you're in your mother's womb until your last breath. And just remembering how amazing this truly is. And we will all forget this miracle throughout our lives. We're not meant to truly remember it and feel grateful and loved and whole and holy all the time. These things come in waves, just like everything else in life. So just truly appreciating that feeling of wholeness and connection, if you feel that. And also appreciating any feelings of disconnection and darkness, if you feel that. And then all those phases in between. And I think the most helpful analogy I hear for this is right above our heads. It's the moon. And in ancient astrology practices, the moon represents our body, our physical body, our bones, muscles, skin. And this body does not have any life or light of its own. It is just matter. And the sun represents our soul and the light within us that animates your body, who you are inside of your body. And at times, our body can feel like a full moon, and we are completely illuminated by our soul. We feel connected and great and just bright and loving and loved, all the good things. And then other times we are a new moon and we are in the dark. Our body is still there, the moon is still there, and a new moon. It's just a little harder to see. It's not reflecting any light. And it's a time of incubation, of healing and feeling. And then there's all those phases of the moon in between. Sometimes we are partially illuminated and partially in the dark. And knowing that we will never escape, nor should we escape these cycles. Everything has cycles, just like the seasons, just like the moon. It's like everything of life. And sometimes we just have these expectations of ourselves where we should feel good all the time. We should feel happy. We should feel, it's a lot of just should, a lot of should feelings. But just by remembering that whatever you feel, no matter how positive or negative you see that to be, it's what you're meant to feel. And darkness is just as much a part of life as light. And we need darkness just as much as we need light. And just by reminding ourselves of this, it can really be so helpful to power us through the hard times. And remembering that all the good feelings you have yet to feel are always on their way to you. And using the memories of good times and the knowing of future good times to power you through the hard times. And also just letting yourself fully be in the hard times. Another analogy that's nice is if you're in the middle of a storm, just letting the storm be there and not running alongside the storm and trying to figure it out and with all the why feelings. But just having a seat and knowing and trusting that the rain will pass. Every storm runs out of rain. The sun will come again. No matter how long it takes, it will come. So just letting yourself fully feel the rain on the skin and fully feel the blanket of clouds and let it be here for as long as it needs to be here. And if you're in the sun right now, fully basking in that sunlight, letting yourself absorb it, knowing that that is temporary too. And taking another moment to bring some awareness back to your heart and just feel this unique rhythm that's beating in your chest. Feel the connection between your heart and every corner and edge of your body. Maybe feeling your whole body pulsing along with your heart. And if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can let your hands find each other in a prayer position at heart center. Your palms and fingers making contact with one another. And feeling the pulsing of your palms into each other. And pressing your thumbs towards your heart and letting your heart lift back towards your thumbs. And just feeling this pulse that is you. And as you take a deep breath in, allowing everything that you felt today to soak into you. And as you exhale, just letting go of anything that no longer serves you as you allow your head to gently bow. Just bowing to whatever source you believe is allowing your heart to beat. Bowing to the constant source of guidance and inspiration around you, whatever you believe that to be. Bowing to everyone in this space who has listened and completed this practice alongside you. And most importantly, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today, for taking the time out of your busy schedule for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights, and may you bring the same love and understanding into everything that you do and to everyone that you see. Namaste.